Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about the mistakes I made when I was pursuing my second degree. So I'm going to get right down to it. Today's my birthday, so I decided to just vlog and let y'all know what's been going on in my mind. A little update, I am still in communication with the GMC. I have sent in a second set of documents. Hopefully by the end of this week, they have sent me something concrete saying, well, you've sent in the required documents and I can, go on to the identification process. I'll keep you updated with that. So I've been busy this week just picking up documents from here, picking up documents from my employment, my places of employment. Here's a tip. I have to tell you, if you plan to go to any country, the States, the UK, specifically the UK, and you are not just out of medical school, but I'm talking if you are like 2-3 years from medical school and you decide to take a gap year, then it could pose a problem for you if you're applying to the GMC. I'm not going to say that it always does, but I'm saying I never haven't had any gap years. Thank God for that. I went straight. I've been working from I left medical school. I've never been unemployed. I've had employment part-time, but I've never been unemployed, which is something that I am very thankful that it just happened. But that didn't happen as a result of me planning it that way. If you understand what I'm saying, it just happened like that. But suppose you're a person that's in a place where employment for medical doctors is really hard and you are pursuing your second degree and you're unemployed. It can actually pose some issues when you're applying to the GMC because they ask you quite a bit about your employment history. They want to know if you had any breaks in your employment. I'm guessing they want to know if you've been keeping up with their skills. And they're very keen on what's been going on in the last 5 years of your life. So my advice to you, don't take any breaks. Even if you do part-time, but don't take any breaks in your working experience when it comes to being in a medical capacity. Don't take any breaks. Don't stop. And they are adamant. They always ask about it and they always want to know, especially if your jobs have overlap too. That's an issue that can occur if you're doing part-time. Make sure you have lots of different places you're working, especially if you want to get in some good hours and, in a medical capacity. Don't stop practicing medicine. And I'm thankful I never did. That's something that, yes, I would not like to have to go through with the GMC. I'm thankful I don't have to go through with them because if you read the website, that's a big part of even submitting your application. If you have any gaps and you leave out any gaps and you don't explain why you leave out the gaps, it won't even submit in some instances. So give thanks. So keep working, even if you want to take time to do this and to do that and do other endeavors. Keep your foot in medicine at all times. Trust me on this one, if you have plans to migrate. So on to the main video. So number one, the first thing I would have done is the mistake that I made was not committing to oral and maxillofacial surgery right out of medical school. I definitely feel like that was a mistake because it means then that I would not have planned how to pursue it as good or as properly or as, strategic as it should have been. In other words, funding was really hard. Finding money was really hard. Basically, all of the money that I was working for had to go to my kids and myself, like my school. So it was really, really hard from that perspective. So I still had to maintain a household. I still had to look after the kids. And I still had to try to live on what scraps was left after I did all of that there while still funding school. If I had planned it better, I could have just taken a lump sum from however I could have done it, taking a lump sum from maybe using my employment at the time as collateral and just taking a lump sum, worked while I was studying, and then after that, I would have just pursued my dental degree consistently from 2017 to 2020, and I would have been done by now, maybe. That's number one. Number two, I should not have left Trinidad to move here, and that's not saying that here is not good. I'm just saying in terms of proximity to where I'm from Barbados. So traveling back and forth between Trinidad and Barbados would have been a lot cheaper. Also, Trinidad has a lot of graduates that graduated from University of West Indies St. Augustine campus with their second degree and are now pursuing their training in oral and maxillofacial surgery abroad. I am the first here pursuing a dual qualification in dentistry to pursue oral and maxillofacial surgery. So there was some difficulties. I'm not even going to joke about that. There were some difficulties. That in itself was a challenge. Like, it's not that the teaching isn't good or anything. So the teaching is there. You still get the same experience. It's all about how you make it. It's all about how you immerse yourself in dentistry, which is what I made sure I did. But just being in an environment where you would not have been the first, which is not a bad thing all the time, but where you would not have been the first person to pursue it in that environment, it could have really given me a little bit less stress. Another issue that I could have averted was just believing in myself. So there are a lot of people that would have been in my circle that would have been very supportive, but there were a lot of people that were in my circle that were not supportive. And despite the fact of me, like, I'm actually a pretty positive person. I have my days, don't get me wrong, but I think I spent a little too much time taking on the negativity. And that's something that you have to just, there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of things that will come into your life that will, and where the negativity comes from is not always from strangers. It's not always somebody that you don't know. At times it could be somebody very close to home. You don't need that. So I feel like I made a mistake in terms of, taking on the negativity, and I should have just said, you know what, and just remove myself from the negativity and just pursued it and ignored the naysayers. That's something that you need to keep in mind. Always keep who is for you around you. If you sense that a person has switched and you just don't feel as though what they're saying to you is good advice, or if they have good intentions for you, there's nothing wrong with distancing yourself. Just distance yourself from that. I can't go into a lot of details about that, but trust me when I say it to you, you're going to meet it. Even if it's not oral and maxillofacial surgery, you're going to meet it in whatever endeavor you undertake. So that's that. Another thing I would have done differently, when I did my MRCS exam in 2017, I made a huge mistake. And from the moment I got my pass grade, I applied to GMC. That is not how it works. So I wasted money. The GMC requires, at the time, it required your certificate. So wait until you are admitted to the Royal College of Surgeons before you apply to the GMC. Nowadays, they don't even need your certificate. What they need is a letter sent from the GMC to Epic Portal or ECFMG verifying your document. And that same letter, along with your primary medical qualification, has to be sent to the GMC as well too. So your certificate that you get from the Royal College of Surgeons is so minuscule or so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. My advice to you is to just wait until you are admitted into the Royal College of Surgeons and then afterwards apply. Because if your passing grade is not enough evidence for them to use to say that you have an essential postgraduate qualification, it's not. So that's another piece of advice. Be patient. Be very patient. And finally, in terms of things I wish I did better, when I left medical school, I paid a lot of money to do my USMLE World and all those things. I wish I committed, as I said, if I had committed to dentistry, I would have saved something like $600 US, just using that for whatever else I was supposed to do, as opposed to being all over the place trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And that's something that I wish I did different. So I hope these tips help you. I hope my mistakes help you. And I hope you understand that if you're going to pursue something, pursue it with your entire being. There's nothing wrong with pursuing it with your entire being. As long as you're not doing anything unscrupulous, you're not trying to hold anybody back, as long as you're maintaining your responsibilities, there's nothing wrong with it. Pursue it, because in the long run, the same people who may very well stress you out because you're pursuing it, they're going to benefit, whether directly or indirectly, from your outcome. So say, for instance, you want to be in oral and maxillofacial surgery. You have some issues in your life where the person is saying, why are you choosing such a long route and all that there? They don't know where maxillofacial surgery will take you. It's a very, very rare specialty in the sense where a lot of people don't do it because it's such a long specialty. But at the end of it all, what you will be able to contribute to society, contribute to your family financially, you change people's lives. Like, just ignore all of the noise in the background and focus on what you need to do. This is what you chose to do. Stick to it. Stick to it. So guys, continue to subscribe. I'm going to try to keep posting once per week. The next video that I do, hopefully, it will be a video telling you that I have GMC registration. I don't know yet. I'm still waiting on. This is the second set of documents that I've sent in, so I'm hopeful, and we'll see how it goes. So continue to subscribe. If you have any questions, you can actually send me a message on Yahoo. If not, continue to subscribe as I said.